So maybe you've been watching our channel for some time and you've decided you want to call the Temecula Valley home, but the question always comes down to which neighborhood is best. And that's exactly what we're doing here today in our Neighborhood Spotlight series. I can't wait to show off to you one of my favorite gated neighborhoods here in Murrieta. This is Greer Ranch. Let's dive in. Hey guys, I'm Andrew Lewis, your local Temecula Valley realtor, and this channel is dedicated to all things living in the Temecula Valley, from new construction tours to neighborhood spotlights to new things coming here to the valley. I want you and your family to know exactly what it's like living here in the Temecula Valley before you make the move. Let's get into it. So first off, let's talk about location. Where is Greer Ranch located? This is what I would call North Murrieta. It is kind of on the central side of things. You know, you still have plenty of Murrieta to the east and to the west, so like north central. Basically, this is right off of the 215 freeway at Clinton Keith. You're very close to the freeway, so if you're going to be a commuter, this neighborhood is a great option for you. Quickly gets you to the 215, which will quickly connect as well to the 15 freeway if you need to head south into San Diego or north up into LA or Orange County. So great location for that side of things. Some differences that I would say as far as location, you're not as close to some of the more popular restaurants and things to do, but that's what makes this community great, and we'll talk a little bit more on that here in a moment. So location-wise, great for commuters, maybe a little bit further from some of the stores that you're looking for, but we'll get into why that is and what makes this gate. Now let's talk about some of the pros of living here inside of Greer Ranch. Number one is the exclusivity, the fact that this is a guard-gated community, and sometimes when we come into a gated community, it's still easy to get access. You know, even as a real estate agent, typically I can show my ID and my real estate agent license and you can get in. That is not the case here. You actually have to be called in every single time you visit. So it is super, super secure, guard-gated. You have to show an ID and actually be on the list before you can get inside of here. Also, you've got great amenities here. So usually when you come into a neighborhood which has an HOA, we will talk about that here in a moment here, but when you come into a neighborhood that has an HOA, you want to make sure that you're actually getting bang for your buck there, and this community shows that with their great amenities. You've got pool, spa, barbecue area, parks, picnic, clubhouse, you name it, you've got it. So you're actually really getting some great bang for your buck when it comes to the HOA. And lastly, this neighborhood is absolutely clean and pristine. So again, sometimes you have an HOA, they simply just take money from you, and really all they do is make sure you don't paint your neighbor doesn't paint their house yellow. But this community does a fantastic job of being very clean. They keep up with the grounds very, very well. As you can see all around me here, everything is meticulously maintained. And so you just have this clean feeling as you drive throughout the entire neighborhood. Now let's talk about some cons, or at least just some things to be aware of before you move into Greer Ranch. So first and foremost, actually both of these are going to be surrounded a little bit around the HOA. There's some positives that we just talked about there, but you are on the higher side of what you're typically going to pay inside of Murrieta for an HOA. So we'll talk about the price here in just a little bit there, but it's a little bit more. I also will share with you, it's a little bit more of a picky neighborhood. It is meticulously maintained. HOA does have some pretty strict rules, and I even know people that own their own businesses and have branded vehicles. Well, you actually cannot park your branded vehicle on the street here at all. So unless it fits in the garage, you can't even park it at your house. So if you have a nice work truck, you're an electrician, and you've got a work truck that has your branding on it, you actually have to park it outside the gate, and you can't even park it in front of your house. So that is definitely something to be aware of, but overall it helps keep the neighborhood look really, really good. So now let's talk about price points. As you know, prices change all the time, and so we don't love to quote them directly here. We'll give you a range of prices, but if you ever want to know up-to-date current pricing as of the day that you're watching this video, leave a comment below or pick up the phone and give us a call. My team would be happy to provide you with that information. But when it comes to price ranges here in Greer Ranch, they're on the high side for Murrieta, as you expect for such an exclusive guard-gated community. So price ranges currently are anywhere from $800,000 on the low side up to $1.3 million. So it is still a tract home neighborhood, but you are pushing up over that $1 million mark for most of the homes here inside the neighborhood. Next up, we've got taxes and HOA. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty of what it actually costs to live here. So obviously we just talked about the pricing here a moment ago, and this is really something that you need to consider when it comes to moving to the Temecula Valley in general. Tax rates vary greatly. You can go all the way from 1.1 up to 2.2, 2.3%. And that may not sound like anything to you, but it can be several $100s in your monthly payment. Along with that, we add in the HOA, and so you've got to really factor those things in to make sure that this is an affordable place for you. So when it comes to the tax rate here, this is actually on the low side of tax rate for Murrieta, which is great news considering the higher price of the homes. You're gonna be paying about 1.2 to 1.3% in taxes here. You basically are gonna take your purchase price, multiply that by 1.2%, 1.3%, and then you're going to chop that up by 12. That's what's gonna get put into your monthly payment on top of your principal and interest. Also, you've got to factor in now your HOA payment. I did say it's a little bit higher than what we would typically see here in Murrieta, but $250 a month, which I would say relative to the amenities that it offers is actually a bargain, because there are some that can push up closer to that and offer no amenities at all. So $250 a month you will need to factor in for your HOA payment. Moving on to schools. If you've got little ones here in the area, I'm sure you are curious about what those schools look like. Just a reminder for you, we use greatschools.org for a grading system for schools. You can look these up yourself, so feel free to hop on there, plug it in, and actually read some of the reviews about these specific schools that we're mentioning here, but they're graded on a scale of 1 to 10. Great news here, the schools are really high rated for every school that you will attend inside of this community. Now for elementary, you'll be going to Antelope Hills Elementary. That is rated an 8 out of 10 on the greatschools.org chart. For the middle school, you're going to Chevala Middle School. That is a 7 out of 10 on greatschools.org. And last but not least, Murrieta Mesa High School, and that is also an 8 out of 10. So again, they're all above the average of 7, which is what we typically see here in the area. So you've got really, really great schools, and they're actually all really close to you. So maybe not walking distance necessarily, but not a far drive at all to get to these. We always wrap this up with the key features of the neighborhood, and I touched on a lot of them. First and foremost, we have to talk about the guard-gated exclusivity of this neighborhood, tucked up against the hills. Really great views. There are a ton of lots here inside of this neighborhood that offer some amazing views. So if that's your thing, you can find one of those view lots. You're gonna pay a premium for it, but you can actually see like a huge portion of the Temecula Valley at night. It's some really, really great views. On top of that, meticulously maintained grounds here. It just feels like a completely different area as soon as you drive through the gates. Lots of mature landscape and trees, and that's kept up throughout the entire neighborhood. And last but not least, those amenities. You get a ton of bang for your buck. When you're spending that $250 a month for the HOA, you're still getting the pool, spa, clubhouse, barbecue area, parks, all of that. It's definitely a huge benefit for you. You've got plenty to do, tons of walking, tons of hiking. And actually, I even have clients that have moved here in the area, and they see like deer coming down from the hills and exploring the neighborhood at times. So that's super uncommon for the area, but you do get a glimpse at some amazing wildlife living here inside of Greer Ranch as well. So that's it for our neighborhood spotlight on Greer Ranch here in Murrieta. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you found today's content helpful. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like button. Leave a comment below as well about any questions you have about Greer Ranch, moving to Temecula, moving to Murrieta. We'd love to respond. We monitor those on a daily basis. Or feel free to pick up the phone, give us a call, schedule a Zoom call with us, and someone from my team will get back to you ASAP. And as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. Again, thank you so much for tuning in today. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time.